So you've probably seen the headlines that says Mike Johnson has broke with Donald Trump, and that's true and not true. What he actually did was one of the oldest Republican stunts in the book. He went out there when the cameras was rolling, and he said that the Epstein files should be released, that we should be transparent with the American people, and that Ghislaine Maxwell should speak in front of Congress. But then he voted against both those things. So it's just a classic Republican stunt. But here he is doing his PR work, trying to go out there and put the toothpaste back in the tube. He said this, and then we'll talk about how he went behind closed doors and voted for the exact opposite.
Sort of on the heels of something else that a lot of people are asking questions about. And because we've been lied to by our federal government for so long, I feel like there's some type of like there's a pain point, right? In the pressure cooker that gets heated up on issues like the Epstein issue,
yeah.
Right? And obviously that's something that's taken over a lot of the online dialogue. I have a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know, Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved so that they can deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after Act Blue and the things that the president is most concerned about, as we are. So I'm anxious to get this behind.
Now, that may sound all cool. I mean, people may hear that and go, see, they're being transparent. He's for releasing it. He's for putting it out there. But then he went behind closed doors and voted for it to not be put out there. That's one of the oldest Republican stunts in the world. I remember as a kid, back growing up, when I was a teenager, I was talking to my uncle, and we were talking about politicians here in Tennessee, like Lamar Alexander, who would go out there and talk about morals and values and put on a flannel shirt and a pair of blue jeans and walk across Tennessee and would talk about helping seniors and helping veterans and helping everyone. And my uncle said, yeah, he did all that for political theater, but then he went behind closed doors and voted against the very people that he claimed he was lifting up. So Mike Johnson's full of shit, but what Mike Johnson is trying to do is he's trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube on this one, and he's trying to save this because the midterms are coming up, folks, and MAGA has been dedicated and ready to get out there and vote, but how many of them are going to be willing to go out there and vote now that Donald Trump is turning on them? The funny part is we've been sitting back for years waiting to see if they would ever turn on Trump. And we've been pointing to everything going, this should be the moment, and then it doesn't happen. This should be the moment, and then it doesn't happen. It's not happened because Trump has never actually threw them under the bus. He always continues to throw and fan the flames at us, and they jump on it and help him fan the flames at us. But this go around, he's fanning the flames at them, and he's calling them bad people for talking about Epstein, and then he made this bizarre, deranged post. Folks, this guy is in absolute meltdown mode. I want you to take a look at this right here. I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's absolutely ridiculous, but he starts off with, the radical left lunatics have hit pay dirt again. You know, he goes on to talk about all the hoaxes in the past. And then I want you to zero in on this part right here. He says, their new scam is what he says, is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. We're going to call it that, he says. And my past supporters who have bought into this bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. Then he goes on to say, let these weaklings continue to forward and do the Democrats' work because I don't want their support anymore. Now, I hate to rub salt in the wound on this one, folks, but I just want to point something out. During the election, he said, on the campaign trail, he said, I don't care about you, I just want your vote. People passed out from heat exhaustion, passed out from dehydration right in front of him. He drank water and said, I don't care, I just want your vote. He also said, all you have to do, I don't really need your vote, just vote one more time though and you'll never have to vote again. And I said, once he gets in there he will no longer need their support. Once he gets in there, he's going to have immunity. He's going to know that. That's going to go right to his head, and then he won't need them anymore. So as much as we've sat back and waited on the moment when they would throw him under the bus, the real moment is now here that he has thrown them under the bus. That's what's happening. And that's what is one of those things that's honestly kind of funny to watch, because we've tried so hard to be transparent with them and put everything on the table and look at everything that Donald Trump has done, and every step of the way they've called it fake news, every step of the way they've called us libtards. And here's the thing about this whole Epstein list that really irks me, and it irks me that he sits there and says, now we are going to forever call this the Epstein hoax that the Democrats cooked up. We're now going to call it that. He ran on that shit. But not only that, not only did he run on it, his supporters have used that. His supporters have held that over our heads. His supporters have waved that in our faces, and they've taunted us with it. Hey, we got phase one. Hey, look here. We got the Epstein files. Wait till they come out. All the Democrats are going to be in it. And not only did they do that, but that influenced their supporters to message people like me on a daily basis to tell me that I'm a pedophile and that I'm a groomer and that I'm a communist and I'm all these things. So this has been dangled over our head. And here's the funny part about that. The entire time they were sitting here dangling that in front of our face saying, we got it. We got the Democrats. We were going, release it. Go for it. We don't care. We don't care if you throw Bill Clinton under the bus. We don't care who gets thrown under the bus. We're against what Epstein was doing. So go ahead, do it. And they sit there and they dangle it over in front of our face. And Trump ran on it, and he pushed it. And every right-wing influencer and podcaster pushed it. And all the MAGA politicians, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Steve Bannon, all of them, they could not stop talking about this. And now he has the audacity to say to them, oh, we will forever call this the Epstein hoax. The Democrats have hit pay dirt again. And I don't need you weaklings. I don't need your support. He did exactly what I said that he would do. I don't mean to toot my own horn on this one, but toot toot. And to anyone that's hanging in there that's been trolling me for years and watches all the way to the end of each video to tell me about what I said right at the closing moments, y'all got played, and I was sitting here telling you you were being played the entire time, and I was sitting here saying, hey, look, I'm none of the things you're accusing me of. If the Democrats are on there, go ahead and release it. We don't care. And he's never stopped to think any of this through. He's never stopped to think any of this through as he tries to make it go away. And see, he's always been able to make it go away by saying the Democrats or Hillary did it. The only problem is, if the Democrats and Hillary cooked it up, why didn't they release it? If they cooked it up to use it against him, why'd they hold it back? So you're telling me they created this hoax, but then they didn't use it on you? They just let it sit there till you found it? So now he's saying that his supporters are his past supporters and they're weaklings that he doesn't need, and they can do the Democrats' work. Well, if you believed that the Democrats were all on that list, and you believed that they were involved in something they shouldn't have been, in some shady shit with Epstein, if you bought into that and you believed that and you were waiting to see all the Democrats burn down, well, then it's Trump doing the Democrats' work, ain't it? If he's the one now that's telling you to stop talking about it, telling you to move on, telling you that it was a bullshit hoax the entire time, it was a bullshit hoax, you bought into the bullshit, well, guess what? You know deep down the Democrats did not create this. He did. And he ran on it. And Maga hyped it. And they dangled it in front of our faces, and they used it to beat us down every day. And the whole time we were going, go ahead, release it, put it out there. But Mike Johnson, as much of a little whore as he is, he's not stupid. He knows how to work the audience. He knows how to play both ends, just like the classic old school Republicans. Let's talk about the vets, and then let's go in there and cut out their benefits. They've been doing it as long as we've all been alive, as our grandparents have been alive. They were sitting there fighting FDR and the New Deal years ago, and they'll still shit on that to this day. But this entire time, they've used this, only to be told that they were full of shit and they were weak and he didn't need them. So there you go, folks. Mike Johnson knows that the midterms are coming up, and he knows he's got to save it. So he just did the classic move, which is go on the TV or the podcast or whatever the hell we're doing these days. Go on there, say what you need to say, and then you can say, well, I've always said we should be transparent. I've always said we should be open with the American people. Yeah, but you voted against it, so it didn't mean shit. Your little publicity stunt there didn't mean shit. But they know the midterms are coming. And folks, when the midterms come, here's the question that I'd like to ask you. They're not going to have the cheaper eggs. They're not going to have a lower grocery bill. They're not going to have $1.95 gas, no matter how many times he says it. So they're going to go to the poll, or are they even going to be inspired to go to the poll when he's telling them they're weak, when he's telling them they're doing the Democrats' work, and when he's telling them he don't need them anymore? Will they still line up and get behind him? It'll be interesting to see. I can't say that they're going to run from him just yet. I can't give them that. Because old Charlie Kirk said, we're going to stop talking about it, but none of us believes Trump had nothing to do with it. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But the midterms will be interesting. And if Donald Trump thinks that this is going to go away, or if he thinks that somehow he's going to be able to weasel out of this one, he's not come to midterms. There's going to be a lot of people that are either A, going to go in there and hold their noses and vote for Democrats, or B, they're going to stay home. And they're going to stay home because they realize they were duped.